Most people spend money on certifications in the wrong order. They buy expensive boot camps that teach them what employers care about least, and skip the $300 exams that put their resume in the shortlist pile. Here is every major certification, what it actually gets you, and the order that makes sense. The trap nobody warns you about. Training companies profit from selling courses, not from placing candidates. The certifications they push hardest are frequently not the ones employers filter resumes by. Before spending anything, find 10 job descriptions for the role you want. Read what certifications appear most often under required, not preferred, required. That list is your study plan. Everything else is optional. CompTIA A+. CompTIA A+ is the one certification you can sit for with no experience, no degree, and no prior knowledge. It covers hardware, operating systems, networking fundamentals, and troubleshooting basics, exactly what entry-level IT support roles require. It is the most common credential on the resumes of people who entered IT from unrelated careers. The exam costs approximately $253 per part across 2 required exams. No prerequisites, no experience requirement. If you are trying to get your first IT job and you have nothing on your resume that signals technical competence, this is where you start. CompTIA A Network Plus and Security Plus. Network Plus builds on A Plus by covering routing, switching, wireless, and network security at a depth that IT support roles require, but A Plus doesn't fully address. Security Plus is where the certification picture changes significantly. It is the most widely required entry-level cybersecurity credential in the United States, not because of its technical depth, but because of a single regulatory fact. Security Plus is approved under Department of Defense Directive 8140, meaning U.S. government contractors are legally required to hold it for specific cybersecurity roles. That requirement creates a permanent floor of demand independent of market conditions. A certification that a regulation requires cannot become irrelevant. Security Plus holders earn an average of $84,000 at entry level. The DoD approval is the reason this certificate outperforms every other entry-level security credential on job volume. Google IT Support Certificate. The Google IT Support Certificate on Coursera costs $59 per month and takes approximately 6 months to complete. It was designed by Google specifically for people with no technical background. Career changers, not career advancers. Google reports an 89% job placement rate among completers who engage with their career support resources. It covers the same foundational territory as CompTIA A+ at a lower cost. The trade-off is brand recognition. A Plus has 30 years of employer recognition. Google's certificate has 3. For someone who cannot afford CompTIA exam fees and needs to demonstrate foundational knowledge immediately, Google's certificate is a faster, cheaper on-ramp. It costs less than a single CompTIA exam. Cisco CCNA, the networking standard, since 1998. The Cisco Certified Network Associate has been relevant through dial-up, broadband, Wi-Fi, virtualization, cloud, and now AI-driven networking infrastructure. It is the entry credential for network engineering roles, which pay $90,000 to $130,000 at mid-level. The CCNA requires understanding of routing, switching, wireless, and network automation at a depth that CompTIA Network Plus does not reach. Above CCNA sits CCNP, and above that, CCIE, the expert-level Cisco credential held by fewer than 70,000 people globally. The scarcity of CCIE holders in a world that runs on Cisco networking infrastructure makes it one of the most durable expert credentials in the industry. AWS Certified Solutions Architect. AWS holds 28% of the global cloud infrastructure market, the largest share of any single provider, according to Synergy Research Group's Q1 2026 data. The AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate is the most commonly required cloud certification across job postings, with certified architects earning $105,000 to $160,000. Certified AWS architects earn significantly more than non-certified peers in equivalent roles. The single highest return on investment certification in IT when measured by salary increase per dollar spent on preparation. If you work in a startup, a tech company, or any organization that runs significant cloud workloads, AWS is the credential that opens the most doors. Microsoft Azure, the certification that wins inside enterprises. 95% of Fortune 500 companies use Microsoft Azure, Azure certifications don't carry AWS's name recognition among job seekers, but they dominate inside the organizations that employ the largest number of IT professionals. Banks, hospitals, insurance companies, government contractors, and large enterprises running Microsoft 365 stacks. The strategic logic is simple. Learn AWS for startups and tech companies. Learn Azure for every other large employer. The Azure Administrator Associate and Azure Solutions Architect Expert are the credentials that appear most consistently in enterprise IT job postings. Google Cloud Professional Architect, the highest paying certification. Google Cloud Professional Cloud Architect consistently ranks as one of the highest paying IT certifications in annual industry salary surveys, with average salaries of $175,000 to $200,000 in the US. The salary premium exists partly because the certified population is significantly smaller than AWS or Azure. Google Cloud holds 14% of global cloud infrastructure market share as of Q1 2026 and grew approximately 29% year over year in 2025. The smaller pool of certified professionals relative to the growing demand is what drives the salary premium. If your organization runs AI workloads, which increasingly means Google Cloud, this certification's value is rising. CISSP, the certification that unlocks senior cybersecurity. The Certified Information System Security Professional requires 5 years of paid work experience before you can sit the exam. The exam costs $749. CISSP holders earn $130,000 to $165,000 on average, and it is frequently listed as a hard requirement on senior cybersecurity job postings at government agencies and Fortune 500 companies. It is not an entry credential. It is the credential that separates mid-level security professionals from senior ones. The 5-year requirement is not a barrier to entry. It is the reason the credential holds its value. Anyone who holds it has demonstrably spent years working in security, not just passing exams. PMP, the least glamorous certification with consistent returns. The project management professional is not a technical credential. It covers planning, risk management, stakeholder communication, and delivery, the skills that make technical projects ship. PMP holders earn a 25% salary premium over non-certified peers in equivalent roles, according to PMI's own salary surveys. Every technical team needs someone who can manage the project. Most engineers don't want that role. The engineers who do want it and who hold the PMP are consistently well compensated for filling a gap the market reliably underfills. AI certifications in 2026, the category that didn't exist 3 years ago. AWS, Microsoft, and Google all launched dedicated AI and machine learning certifications between 2023 and 2025. AI and machine learning certification holders now earn $125,000 to $165,000 in roles that barely existed before 2022. These certifications are younger than every other credential on this list, and already among the most valuable. The organizations hiring for AI engineering roles are competing for a small certified population. The salary premium that comes with scarcity applies here more than anywhere. The rule that applies to every certification on this list. A certification gets you the interview. It does not get you the job. Employers who hire fastest for certified candidates are not looking for people who passed an exam. They are looking for people who learned the skills the exam tested and can demonstrate them in a conversation. The difference between a certification that sits on a resume and one that changes a career is everything that happened during the preparation, not the certificate itself. Once you have the certification, you need to understand which role it opens the door to. Every tech job explained. What each role actually involves, what it pays, and which one fits you is on screen right now.